Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to another Magic Arena Explorer video. So today we're playing some Rakdos Prowess, or Caustic Bronco Prowess, however you want to describe it. So this is a deck that's built around the kind of Slickshot Show-Off, so we've used that a couple of times in new decks. The 1-2 with haste, that whenever you cast a non-creature spell it gets +2/+0 until end of turn, also has flying, so a very good way of dealing a lot of damage to the opponent very quickly. So we've kind of tried this in a Boros Burn shell, we've done a Gruul Prowess shell, and now we're kind of doing it in Rakdos, because that gives us access to a few cards which are pretty good in this particular archetype. So we have Caustic Bronco, which is the other new card that we're running. So this is a 2/2 for 2, has saddle 3, and whenever it attacks, you reveal the top card of your library and put it into your hand. You lose life equal to that card's mana value if Caustic Bronco isn't saddled, otherwise each opponent loses that much life. So this is a very good card advantage creature. You will get a new card in your hand whenever it attacks. If it's saddled, then we'll also do some more damage to the opponent, which helps with the plan of just kind of burning them out of the game. Now, realistically, saddling for 3 in a deck like this is not hugely common because, we want to be attacking with our other creatures rather than taking the punt of kind of revealing a high mana cost card, of which there aren't that many in the deck. So more often than not, this will just be a card advantage spell that costs us a little bit of life. But in a deck like this, that kind of mono red feel to it, kind of getting additional cards is half the battle. So that's a good addition to the deck. Also, it lets us play Thoughtseize, which is always great. And as a non-creature spell as well, kind of fits quite nicely with what we're trying to do. And then we can also run Claim to Fame. So Claim is the 1 mana sorcery, 1 black mana, return target creature card with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. And then it has Aftermath, so you can then cast the Fame side of it from the graveyard to give a creature +2/+0 and haste until end of turn. So this works very nicely with Show-Off and also Caustic Bronco, bringing back these creatures once if and when the opponent's been able to deal with them once. If you can bring back a Claim, immediately cast Fame on the Slickshot Show-Off if you're attacking for 5, and if the opponent doesn't have a good answer for that, then that's going to be pretty hard for them to come back from. So yeah, running black in this deck does make a lot of sense. And then in terms of the rest of the red cards, so we've got our kind of 1 mana Prowess shell spells that you'll be familiar with. So we've got the Prowess creatures with 4 Soulscar Mage and 4 Monetary Swiftspear. We're also running 4 Kamano Faces Kakazan. Turn 1 Kamano into turn 2 Caustic Bronco is a pretty good sequence. Makes it a 3/3, much harder for the opponent to deal with. Monstrous Rage, obviously one of the best pump spells available to us. Not only gives the creature +2/+0 until end of turn, but also gives it a permanent +1/+1 and trample. Play with Fire, good burn spell, can hit the opponent's creatures and also their face. And then we're also running 4 copies of Bone Crusher Giant, which kind of does all of the things. Not only is it a removal spell and a burn spell on its adventure, but then later becomes a 4/3 creature that can attack for a bunch. Also a good creature to saddle the Bronco with if we are trying to go down that route. So yeah, that is the non-land cards. Then in terms of our mana base, as you'd expect, we've got 16 dual lands, all of which could come into play untapped during the early game, as obviously that's kind of a key feature of the deck. A couple of Den of the Bugbears, a couple of mountains, and then a Soken Zan as well. Then the sideboard's a little bit interesting. I'm running a slightly different kind of sideboard. So we have the kind of classic 1 Rending Volley, 2 Go for the Throat, 2 Shieldred's Edict. So these are kind of removal spells that will be familiar to you. We are running 2 copies of Scorching Shot as well, so that's a recent addition to the format. Red deals 5 damage to any creature, so quite a clean answer to creatures like Shieldred, which provide quite a big problem for this deck. And then we also have 4 copies of Rampaging Frostodon, which not only helps shut down the opponent's life gain, but also can do some additional damage to those opponents who are trying to go wide with creatures. And then 4 Urabrask's Forge. This is not one that we've used in a while, but it's a 3 mana artifact. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put an oil counter on it, then create an X1 red Phyrexian horror creature token with trample and haste, where X is the number of oil counters. On Urabrask's Forge, sacrifice that token at the beginning of the next end step. So this is a very good way of just constantly creating a creature that the opponent has to block and has to deal with. It'll get bigger and bigger. Very good against control decks and decks which are kind of trying to wrath the board or have lots of removal, because the creature will just keep coming back and back and getting more and more of a threat. So yeah, we are running 4 copies of that as well. Also non-creature spell, so it fits very nicely in with what the other things that we're doing. So yeah, pretty simple deck, based around prowess, and we've kind of seen this before, but yeah, slightly different build. So we'll see how that does. So thank you very much for watching. As ever, hit those like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already, and let's go on to the ladder. Okay, we always want to be on the play when running this kind of deck. Yeah, this hand's okay. Um, Gives us a bit of a quandary as to what to do on turn 1. I think we should probably start with a Thoughtseize. Yeah, that's good, so they're running Grixis colours, which is unusual. Tiny Bones is quite annoying. Let's just get 2 creatures onto the battlefield, I think. Yeah, I'll discard one of my Broncos. Yeah, Play with Fire is pretty good, so let's take that Bitter Triumph. Kill Tiny Bones. Okay, so we're both pretty low on resources. I think good to get a Bronco into play here. Yeah, that's fine. Flame's pretty good. So let's bring back another Caustic Bronco. Need to be a little careful with our life total here with drawing lots of extra cards, but should be able to polish the opponent off relatively quickly. Three life. Okay. I'll stick a Monstrous Rage on this one. The man who faces Kakazan. Okay, we should be okay now, based on... Yeah, Inti is fine. So let's get that out the way. Yep. Okay, so yeah, I did some pretty good trading for resources there. So they're on a sort of Grixis Rogues, Grixis Legends, perhaps, given that they've played Tiny Bones joins up. So I think Go for the Throat's pretty good here. I think we'll leave it at that for now. Maybe ditch. Well, stitch a couple of Bone Crusher Giants on the draw. Still get a huge sense of what they were playing, but it does seem legendary creatures is likely. Yeah, this is a good hand. So I think I can lose a play with fire here. Yeah, let's get the Commando Faces Kakazan online rather than waiting. Now, do they have Fatal Push? Well, we may as well find out, I suppose. Yep, they always do. I'll play Claim, I'll bring back the Show-Off, and I'll kill their Tiny Bones. Interesting, okay. Well, let's play a Caustic Bronco. Thoughtseize. Oh, what does Marchesa do? Whenever you commit a crime, you may pay 1. Look at the top. Okay, well, whatever I do, they've got 1 of those, so I'll just take Inti, although they can't cast Marchesa at the moment. Cool, okay. Yeah, bit screwed for mana there. Okay, all that karma I accumulated from being on the draw for about 80 matches in a row has finally paid off. They've definitely got Fatal Push, haven't they? Oh, well, let's make them have it. Oh my god, they don't. A black deck, it doesn't have Fatal Push. I must write this down. Waste not. Huh. Okay. Well, let's make a start. Okay, I think I will plot that. Hold up Wolf. Hold up our play with fire. How am I going to do this? So let's ditch a land and Bone Crusher. Yeah. Another waste not, sure. Fine, so I'll put Slickshot into play. I'll bop that in the face. I was hoping for something that wasn't lands there. Oh well, let's see what they can do to me in the meantime. Okay, they got 4 mana out of that, but no creatures at least. Or 8 mana, actually. Ugh. How dare you? Okay, well this better be good. That's not bad. So, start with Monstrous Rage. Land. More land, is it? Stop gaining life. Fine. Right. Good. Well, I think we're just hoping for the best here. That is not the best. Okay, let's scoop this one up. So I want Scorching Shot for their Shieldreds. I think I do want Urabrask's Forge in this matchup. And I do not want Play with Fire or Claim to Fame. Let's get rid of all of those, actually, and keep in one Play with Fire. Because their Go Blanks just shred my graveyard, so... Okay, the lack of black land could become a problem later, but, you know, let's maintain some optimism here. Okay, it's now becoming a problem. I'll plot the Show-Off, get that out of our hand. Okay, so they're sitting on a couple of removal spells here. So I will just chill. Don't see that really making sense. But unfortunately, I can't get a swamp because I don't run any. But for good reason, it wouldn't make sense to. Well, I'll stick one Show-Off into play. Send my creatures at the opponent. That's fine. Let's plot another one. Yeah, taking Forge kind of makes sense there. Well, I may as well leave in the card I can actually cast. Yeah, that made a lot of sense. So let's get this out of our hand. Yeah, they good gamed me there. That seems a little premature. Maybe they have Path of Peril. No, just go blank. Okay, well they're not dead on board, so attack them down to 1. Play Shieldred. Shieldred? I've got Shieldred on the brain. Okay. So we didn't have the best hand there, but we still managed to do a little bit of damage to them. Do I want Ferostodon instead of Urabrask's Forge? It is quite hard to block. Yeah, let's try that for size in this third game. Stick in another Play with Fire, trim a Bone Crusher. I think that will work fine. Any moment not thinking about Shieldred is a moment wasted. Make you think. Well, LG rocks. Which I presume means local government, but, you know. So I'm giving away my professional life here. Hmm. See, as it's 1-1 and they are on the play, it would be an odd time to go off in a sulk. So maybe they have just disconnected. Yeah, this sounds a little painful in terms of life total, but it's good enough that I don't think we can say no to it. And it has an answer for Shieldred if it stays in our hand, so... I wonder if they're coming back. Oh well, talk amongst yourselves. I don't think he's coming back. Oh well, never mind. Ooh, I am being blessed by the die roll today. This is a very nice opening hand. So I think we can follow this up with a Caustic Bronco, which comes down as a 3/3. Which should be too big for anything they can kill with one red mana. Because this ain't a lightning bolt format. Okay, so they're running Show-Off as well, so I think I should hold up Play with Fire for that eventuality. So let's just... Okay, land is good. So I'm going to play Swift Spear and just hold up as much removal as possible. Hopefully they'll bring down their Show-Off now. Good thing about Show-Off, if you're playing against it, is that its toughness never gets bigger. That's my thought for the day. Then given I have... Yeah, because if I Bone Crusher Giant this in a minute, and then if these creatures survive, and like this, they're definitely dead on the crackback, based on what I've got in my hand. So yeah, let's let them do their thing. Yep. So I go to 12. So they still need a way of doing me... I mean, that is a fair amount of damage. It wouldn't be lethal either way, but... So, I'm going to assume that they are super dead here, but let's see. So let's start with Play with Fire. Get rid of Soak and Zan. Yep. How do I want to do this? differently. Is Urabrask's Forge good here? Probably not on the draw, maybe on the play. So I'll put in Go for the Throat. Actually, even Shieldred's Edict seems decent here. And I think I'll take out Thoughtseize, as it's just a bit too painful on the old life total. Yeah. Yeah. Spoken with true confidence. This is a good hand. The pathways are a little bit so-so, but... Okay, I see your Monastery Swiftspear, and I raise your Soulscar Mage. That's pretty cheeky. But they are short of land, which is interesting, so I might just ignore black mana for the moment. Kill their Swiftspear. Attack for 2. Yep, I can be patient. I mean, I'm quite short mana as well, so... Okay, that's pretty decent, so let's get a Bone Crusher Giant into play while we can benefit from the additional +1/+1 counter. Edict's less good in this situation anyway, so I think that decision with the red mana was probably right. Okay, well I will just attack with all, I think. And chill. Well, this is a quite risky strategy. So let's fire off one of these Bone Crushers. Are they dead here? So if I stomp them, I think they are, so... But let's just make sure. Yep, cool. Yeah, these will be quite short matches, so let's do once more around the funfair. Well, that is better. I think I will ditch land here. And I will open with a command who faces Kakazan. Ah, the goose, eh? Ah. That's rare enough these days. This could be some sort of Golgari sacrifice deck. Yep. Not much I'm doing at the moment, but hopefully the opponent will just durdle for a little longer. My claim is just not doing anything for me here. I wonder if this is an Insidious Roots deck. Now. That's pretty rude, isn't it? So rude, in fact. I'm going to do this. I'm hit you for 10 damage. And I'll do it again. Toven. I mean, it could have... No, I was going to say, it could have 2 different removal spells, but seems unlikely. Okay, so the opponent's running a Golgari sacrifice deck. Do I actually have any good answers to this? Or is just the main deck what you need? Ferostodon's probably not bad here, actually. It's probably better than... Well, what it's better than, I couldn't really tell you, but let's say it's better than Bone Crusher Giant. Do I want anything else? I don't think so. This isn't an easy one to sideboard against. Go on, we're on the draw. If I wasn't 3-0 up in this video, I probably wouldn't have done that. I may yet regret it. Goose. Yep. I mean, this deck can do a lot with 1 mana, but gonna need something else at some point. No, not the Cattleman loops. Ah! Right, Swift Spear. Throw me your hand. I know they can't cast any of those spells at the moment, but well, I suppose they could technically cast a Braid. But for some reason are choosing not to, which is interesting to me. So if I stick a Monstrous Rage on that, it becomes a 2-3, then yeah, that survives, I think, so let's do it. And they can kill it with the cat, but they take 4 damage. Okay, well they had to use 2 removal spells to do that, so it's not the end of the world. Yeah, let's just bring back the Swift Spear. It's not the most efficient use of prowess triggers, but the opponent's kind of stuck at the moment, so... But they're not doing badly in terms of their life totals, so... Is this a sorcery? Yes it is, so let's stick it on that. I have a Bronco in play anyway. This may be a game where saddling the Bronco isn't the worst idea. I don't know. Maybe I'm just trying to go as wide as possible here. Yeah, let's just send all of the creatures in. Play with fire's pretty good, so... Let's wait for them to block. Do I kill their goose? Yeah, I think killing the goose makes sense here. Stops them generating any more mana, and it will be a blocker at some point. Let's get Bronco number 2 into play. Yeah, and I may well start crewing. It's the same thing, but yeah, just because 7 life with 2 Caustic Broncos is a little on the rough side. Sadly, I have no targets for claim here, so let's saddle the Bronco. Slickshot Show-Off is good. Drains the opponent for 2 as well, so they're going to have to bring it back this turn or they're dead. Ooh, this is going to be a close one. So they're down to 1. Going to play Show-Off. Then even if they do kill it, I can bring it back. I think I'm going to be alright here, because I'm on 6 life. Their Meat Cook Massacre doesn't do anything. Yep. Okay, very good. 4-0. Not going to complain about that at all. We were on the play every game, so... does help, but yeah, the Caustic Bronco refilling our hand certainly does add value to this deck. Yeah, no, I think it's a bit of a spicy one, worth paying attention to. So here's the deck list one more time. Caustic Prowess. Yeah, so Slickshot Show-Off was great, Caustic Bronco was great. Yeah, it's just a collection of good cards. And if you get a decent opening hand, it is quite hard for the opponent to deal with so much. So yeah, interesting. We didn't really use the Forge, but we didn't come across any control decks, so swings and roundabouts. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. As ever, hit those like and subscribe buttons. Always appreciate the support, and I will see you next time.